The Big Three in the Queen City, downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. Matchup number 3 this afternoon of the Big Three. Killer Threes versus Threes Company. So far, the triplets behind 20 from Joe Johnson, a 10-point win over Trilogy. Game-winning free throw from Gilbert Arenas. Enemies come back to beat the Bullhogs 50-45. And now Killer Threes versus Threes Company. With Michael Rappaport, Jim Jackson, I'm Carter Blackburn. Game number 3. We have seen 2 star-studded, action-packed in the first 2, and we get to have one more today in downtown Charlotte.
We do. To cap it off, we're talking about a team here with Michael Cooper and Threes Company leading the W. Steven Jackson, Michael makes his debut hopefully here in this game. So here's the thing about it. 2 teams trying to figure things out. One has won a game, one is undefeated. One has lost. So can the big-time players, other guys, step up for Threes Company? That's the question.
We'll take a look at the rosters brought to you by State Farm. And yes, for the Killer Threes, a staple of Big Three basketball, Steven Jackson back on the floor for the Killer Threes. Eddy Curry coming off the bench for the Killer Threes. And Steven Jackson, Port Arthur, Texas, 14 NBA seasons, and now his 3rd season in the Big Three.
Yeah, my play cousin, Steven, gets it done. Inside out, tough competitor, defender. Last season, you see the numbers that he put up. Very, very, very tough to guard. So I'm interested to see how he responds to not playing last week, what kind of energy he has. I think he's a catalyst for this Killer 3 team.
Well, so a challenge defensively for Michael Cooper's team, Threes Company, but of course, Michael Cooper and Charles Oakley getting reacquainted. It is all about these. So let's take a look at the roster brought to you by State Farm for Threes Company. Come and knock on our door. BD, Baron Davis, inactive. So you have playing through the post in Drew Gooden and Dermarr Johnson. Andre Emmett will be coming off the bench for Threes Company, who lost in the championship game last year. Needing the big guys to step up. We've been waiting for you, Threes Company.
Well, we have it. Dermarr Johnson has to knock down shots, but it's Andre Emmett, whose name was floated a lot last year as a possible MVP because of the way he played. Didn't have a stellar debut to the season last week, but now you got a chance again with another game to kind of get back to playing the kind of basketball that made you successful last year. They're going to need him to step up big time. They want to get this victory.
Charles Oakley, back in Charlotte, was an assistant for the Bobcats. 3rd season of the Big Three as a player coach. 19 seasons as a player in the NBA. So Oak in the house with the Killer Threes. Michael Cooper and Threes Company for game number 3 from the home of the Hornets in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. Killer Threes 1-0, Threes Company 0-1. Steven Jackson and Jim Jackson getting some love. We're going to be playing to 50, have to win by 2. No game clock, you got the 14-second shot clock. 1 shot for 2 points, which is how the walk-off winner for the enemies in game 2. Gilbert Arenas with a game-winning free throw to get him to 50, and the 4-point shot. So any part of the 4-point circle, that's going to get you 4 points on a make.
What's going to be interesting, too, because you have a physical team with Killer Threes, okay? Jackson, Powell, Curry. Maxill on the other end is probably the most physical they have. Gooden loves to float outside, so a little contrast in style we're going to see. More of a physical, like I talked about. So can Threes Company knock down enough shots early to loosen up the defense and now be able to get past the physicalness and drive and get to the basket?
Which means Andre Emmett will play a big role. So Steven Jackson and the Killer Threes get it started. On the wing, Franklin Session. And now Jackson's going to face up on Emmett. Steven Jackson, first look, 2 down for Steven Jackson.
And I like that matchup, and Steven, instead of taking a long shot, it kind of got comfortable right outside that mid-post, squared his body up, and that's the way you want to jump off to a good start if you're Steven Jackson.
Dermarr Johnson lets it fly, rolls out. Gooden outside. Back to Emmett inside. Gooden missed the tap out. Johnson from the high post.
That's a good sign for Dermarr. He wants to get that jump shot rolling early. Best way to do it, little 15-foot jump shot to knock it in.
Powell faces up. Josh Powell. That was a nice follow from Franklin Sessions.
That thing hanging around the basket. That type. It came off his drive. That Powell got the jump shot, and he just stayed with it. And you can see this matchup they're trying to exploit right here with Sessions, a little smaller in size and physical nature on Emmett.
And then Session gets a foul on the floor. Dermarr Johnson wearing slim on the back of the uni.
For good reason.
Emmett poked out. Shot clock violation as the killer threes D it up.
Yeah, but Emmett has to give that up. He has to make a decision. Either I'm going to go quick, take the shot, or as soon as the defense, kind of pinches down, make a pass because you had Dermarr Johnson wide open for a shot.
Session off the bounce on Emmett. Can't finish, takes a bump. So foul inside on Gooden. Charles Oakley has the loose ball. Franklin Session crossing over, switch out on Gooden. Session gives it up. Jackson eyes the three. Powell offensive board. Power dribble. Session floater. Finally cleared by Three's company.
See if Dermarr Johnson can take advantage of Powell right here. Don't settle.
Dermarr Johnson off the bounce. Contested.
Yeah, contested, good defense. Couldn't quite get by Powell. Great post up inside. Great help.
Gooden with a help side block.
And he's shooting it.
And then lines up the three from a block to a triple.
Why not? The hustle paid off because, again, defense not in a situation to recover. That time, Gooden able to get his puppies behind the line and step up and knock it in.
Steven Jackson off the bounce. This time, Gooden gives up a step and commits the foul on Steven Jackson. So Jackson to the line for two. One
beard.
shot, 2 points.
That's a big beard.
Mm-hmm. Significant, right? Like that takes...
It takes time to groom that. You know that, right?
And effort.
I mean, he don't have it up top, but he definitely got it on his face. Look at that. I would be scared to eat, man.
Now that's,
I would be, because I'm a little messy at times, especially when it comes to pizza and pasta.
If we had somebody on a crew who was willing to ask ridiculous questions, we might get an answer to that.
Yeah, but somebody's not listening to us right now. They're texting on the phone.
Session. Maxiel nearly got a piece of it. Here's Maxiel. Yeah.
Travel. But Frank Nitty, that's his nickname.
Set him up, right?
Session set him up because he knew that he was going to Maxiel was going to try to overpower him, and he pulled the chair out from him. That time Maxiel stumbled into a travel. And that's just smart basketball. And as a post player, you got to know that if you're going to try to power, you got to be on balance. If not, this is what happens.
So a little crafty inside, even though you get a huge mismatch. Session wins, and that would tie up Jackson and Thompson. Reset the shot clock to 14. Emmett launches and buries it. Andre Emmett, confidence over Franklin Session. Switch out, Green takes a bump from Emmett. So Donte Green, who had the game-winning 3 in his Big 3 debut. Dramatic for the former Syracuse Orange man. Donte Green.
Another Syracuse guy, huh, for you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I get it. I get it. That's why I can't wait till I do a game with Greg Oden, so I can really.
That's right. The Buckeye love.
That's right. Getting all, he can do no wrong. I'm giving him all kind of love.
Just like Clark Kellogg gave you all the love, right? Is that right?
You know, it's funny because we used to say when Clark used to call our games in college, when he would come, we would lose. We're like, Clark, you gotta stop coming, man. Clark, bro, you're killing us right now.
Steven Jackson in the corner. It does not take long to get it up for Steven Jackson. The quick trigger, long body, he's been doing it for a long time.
Long time, continues to play in phenomenal shape.
Emmett, heavy traffic, couldn't finish. Max Seal on the stick back.
Now, I like that. Max Seal able to clear some space on the baseline, get that body inside, and then go up over the contact.
Donte Green tries to take it right back at him. Thompson, bounce fader, Green there, easy 2.
Yeah, smart play that time. Again, understanding the rules, doesn't hit the rim, you don't have to clear it out, you can take it right back up.
Off the horn set for Three's Company. Emmett, ISO, Emmett on Green. Couldn't hit it. Thompson there for the follow. Dijon Thompson gets the follow. Bucket, Three's Company. An early 12-9 edge. Game 3. Big 3. Charlotte, North Carolina. CBS Sports Network is on the hardwood as the Indiana Fever battle the Las Vegas Aces. It's the WNBA on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Michael Rappaport Weird with Drew Gooden's beard.
All right, unprecedented access with the beard. Listen, the guys in the booth have beard envy. What's the maintenance on that puppy?
It's like a landscaping bill. It's like landscaping monthly bill right here, man. I got to shout out Jose, my Spanish barber out there at Hall of Fame Barbershop in Orlando. He keeps me trimmed and landscaped.
All right, now you guys are in this.
Today, the killer threes are making it a little hard on us, but I think we'll come out in the long run.
All right, good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, Jack.
What up?
Are you shaving 5 days a week, 7 days a week?
Am I shaving?
Yeah,
No.
Can you shave? Like, are you
I don't
growing
need to.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, are you growing hair every day? Maybe you should start get one of these beards going. You look awesome with one.
You think so?
Oh yeah, you look fantastic with one of those puppies.
Steven Jackson strong to the hoop. But yeah, I mean,
I like the landscaping.
I like the.
I like that.
And I like to shout out for Jose because I mean that's nice because I mean that's a challenging look to be clean up top and then.
But the beard has to be. It's almost like the lawn care. We have a really green grass because you nurture it, you water it.
Right.
You know, you edge it up.
Right.
Really, so you can tell. So that's the thing right here. The products that I want to know the products that he uses to keep it, you know, fluffy.
You have to in other words fertilize the lawn.
Fertilize the lawn,
right?
baby. Fertilize the lawn.
And the whatever it's doing, whatever Jose and Drew are working on together, it is working out. Yeah, to perfection. I mean, it looks like he's ready to come out of the bullpen for anybody. Dijon Thompson. Easy bucket, Three's Company. All right, Drew says fast start usually bodes well, Three's Company. At least out of the timeout, starting fast again on the restart. Steven Jackson, 7 early points. Thompson takes it away. Dermarr Johnson on the baseline.
Great hustle that time. Thompson staying active.
Creating again 2 looks.
But it's Thompson. I mean, he's not going to get credited with the basket, but on that possession, he was involved in keeping the ball alive. Was it the 3-point shot to Johnson, but the tip right here, okay? You don't get credit for that rebound, but Max Seal's able to keep the ball in play and pick up a foul because of the hustle of Johnson.
On both ends, too, defensively and keeping it alive for Dijon Thompson.
Yep.
And now Jason Maxiell, 10-year NBA career. Played at Cincinnati. Physical presence. And you got to respect the 54, too.
Like 54?
Mm-hmm.
Special to you?
It was my number back in the day.
That's what I was trying to get to.
That's when I was playing Brian Scalabrine minutes, wearing 54.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You see the shot, the good defense. You take it back up, Stephen. Normally, guards don't wear 54.
Right.
So what's the backstory of why?
I used to be tall.
So you shrunk as you got older.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a plan, and the plan didn't work out.
Right.
I was going to be the next Jim Jackson. Guess what?
That didn't work. Hence, Syracuse.
Happy to be. That's exactly
school.
right. That is exactly right.
Executive decision.
Learn how to plug in a microphone and roll with it.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of roll with you right there, C.J. Leslie. c.j.watson able to get to the basket off a little inside out and softly use the glass, and Dermarr just couldn't. He was trying to move before he caught the ball. But Watson with an excellent move, too.
And now I like Dermarr having a little smile with Charles Oakley because, the turnover, and then Dermarr, of course, looks at the official like something happened there. That couldn't have been me.
It wasn't me.
Couldn't have been me.
Can you wipe the ball off a little bit?
Gooden digs in off of Jackson and then misses the three.
Oh, missed time that time. But great defense. Go back up.
And then Jackson finishes it off again. Well, Jackson with 11 points, and you get around the basket, Stephen Jackson, he knows how to play this game.
And sometimes it's all about being at the right place at the right time. A little off balance, turnover. Stephen Jackson able to take advantage of it.
Dermarr Johnson back out to Andre Emmett. Quick trigger on a long three, Andre Emmett. Watson launches behind a good screen from Donte Green.
Well, that's how you make a defense play. Because if Andre Emmett wants to go under, Watson smartly stretched out the defense, got that rhythm dribble with his left hand, and went up for a shot.
Dallas, Texas own Andre Emmett draws all three killer threes.
Is that a four-point shot?
It is. Yep. 4-point opportunity for Johnson. Watson takes Emmett. All the way to the hoop. C.J. Watson aggressive.
Well, I mean, and actually great defense by Emmett because it forced Watson to kind of go back off balance. But as we say, good D, better O.
And a nice tip assist for Donte Green. Killer threes by 5. Stephen Jackson doing it again in the big three. 13 of the killer threes, 24.
We're talking about making the debut, but here's C.J. Watson, and here's Emmett with the great defense. Watson able to recreate a shot inside, and then the touch pass Green to my cousin Jackson for easy 2.
Your cousin.
My cousin.
Spiritual hardwood cousins,
That's
right?
Yeah. And we're, what I love about, like a lot of these guys, I mean, Stephen is such a competitor. You can just tell right away. It's been times over the last couple of years where Coach Oakley and Stephen have kind of verbally gotten into it on the sideline because they're both ultra competitive, but the respect he has for the game and for the players is what made him special in the league, and that's why right now he's looking real special.
Special in this league, too. So debut in 2019, season number 3 in the Big 3 for Stephen Jackson, the Port Arthur, Texas native. 14 NBA seasons, won a title with the Spurs. Steve Smith, Sr. in the house as well. Drawing respect from every corner.
Nice.
Emmett off the window. Gooden couldn't get the follow. Halftime at 25, so a chance to get us there. And Watson. Presence felt late, and he is doing it the hard way.
Oh, he is, but you see Watson at the end of the shot. He knew he had the mismatch. He knew Gooden would give him some room. Again, that rhythm dribble in the corner, the walk-off three.
And so Michael Rappaport with c.j.watson.
All right, I'm with Charles Oakley, a.k.a. the King of New York. Your team's looking good. Stephen Jackson's looking good. What are you guys going to do to pull out this win?
Well, we just have to keep playing hard. We're giving up 2 minute second shots, but guys are playing smart. They're not arguing with officials, and that's what basketball should be. Show people your intelligence and your IQ on the basketball floor.
Now, you've been coaching in the Big 3 years now. What have you learned throughout this process, just about coaching and getting guys, communicating with players?
I learned from year 1 to 2, 3, just sit back, coach your players, know what they should be doing at all time on the court, and give yourself a chance to win.
My man Charles Oakley, Big 3, team's looking good. Guys?
A 14-3 run for Charles Oakley's Killer Threes, taking us to the half. Killer Threes by 8, closing it out in Charlotte.
Big 3 basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
The Killer Threes, led by Stephen Jackson and c.j. Watson, have an 8-point lead at the half. So with Jim Jackson, Carter Blackburn, Michael Rappaport, what else is new in the Big 3? Stephen Jackson is getting it done again.
It's just some individuals where it just doesn't take long to find your rhythm, and that's Stephen Jackson. Right now, his debut, 13 points, 6 of 9 shooting. He just knows how to get it done. And he can beat you from the perimeter. He can get inside, the competitor that he is. It makes it tough to guard in this league because it's a premium on defense one-on-one, and it's tough to stop a guy like Stephen Jackson without having backside support.
And then some help from c.j. Watson on that 16-2 run for the Killer Threes. Stephen Jackson getting some help with 13 so far on the 6 of 9 shooting, 3 rebounds, and he is with Michael Rappaport.
All right, I'm with Stephen Jackson, a.k.a. El Capitan, a.k.a. the pride of Port Arthur, Texas. You're looking fantastic out here. Last week you couldn't even play. How you feeling?
As good as I can. I got a torn patella, and it's just something, I love this game too much, so you're going to have to shoot me or break my legs to keep me from being on this court. I promise Cuban them I'll play and give my all to the season, and that's what I'm doing.
Now, you guys look very cohesive. Sometimes the Killer Threes in and out. You guys look really good. What's the difference so far this season?
My team is younger. A lot of these guys are in great shape. A lot of these guys love the game. So when you love the game, good things happen.
All right, good luck, Jack. El Capitan.
Yeah, and clearly he loves the game.
Well, he's playing through an injury when you don't have to. Okay, this is not like he's back in the league. You're not got a chance to win a championship. So actually he's putting his body on the line because he did make the commitment. I think that says a lot about the respect that he has, not only for his teammates, but for Ice Cube.
Now, Michael gave the pride of Port Arthur, Texas, along with Janice Joplin and Jimmy Johnson, Stephen Jackson in that
good company.
Golden Triangle, Port Arthur, Texas company. A 10-point lead. Killer Threes trying to go to 2-0 to start the year in the Big 3. Into Gooden, draws the D and draws a foul. 3 Killer Threes collapse on Drew Gooden.
And I got the mismatch. I actually thought Gooden had the baseline spin that was open. He kind of brought himself back into traffic, but able to pick up the foul.
Game 3, downtown Charlotte, North Carolina in the Big 3. Playing to 50, have to win by 2. 1 free throw worth 2 points. The cut into the double-digit lead. It was a 14-2 run at the end of the half. Overall, a 16-2 run for the Killer Threes. And now Jackson at it again through contact, and we get the foul. That's a play on. No chance at one more, but 3 up there for Stephen Jackson.
And I'll tell you what, it was the play and the screen of Josh Powell and the quick roll to the basket that sucked in the defense that got Steven Jackson that open look.
Andre Emmett, skip pass, Gooden through contact. Offensive foul called on Gooden. Jackson takes the charge.
Yeah, but go back to the play. The dive by Powell leaves Jackson open. The late contest, easy money.
We heard Michael say it looks like the killer three's pretty connected right now on the floor.
Yeah, it's in the past years, like when Chauncey played the first year, he really couldn't play a lot, so you didn't have really good guard play, which kind of hurt this team. I think with c.j.watson, he secures what they need in the backcourt, a playmaker, a guy that can shoot and make decisions, and that's the difference with this team as well.
Long two, Gooden. Powell has the board back into the hands of Steven Jackson.
Yep, and when Watson goes out, you have Session that can come in and give you the same kind of support.
4 more for Steven Jackson, the 4-point shot. 20 in the game for Steven Jackson, his 2019 Big 3 debut. Big for El Capitan. Gooden answers with a 3. c.j.watson with Powell diving.
They're trying to get that isolation inside with Powell.
Jackson off the bounce, gets into Thompson, and craftily gets the foul call.
And Thompson is like, I was in position, but it may have gotten too much body, especially on the lower part of Steven as he was going, because that's the shot you really want Steven to take. He's going to his left, away from the basket. So if he makes that shot, you just pat him on the butt and say, bro, that was a good shot. You don't want to bail him out with the foul.
So 20 for Jackson, 12 for Watson, 32 of the killer threes, 36. And now 2 more for Steven Jackson. 22 in the game, and a well-deserved break for Steven Jackson. Back on the floor in the Big 3, and 4 more. Mr. Jackson.
Big 3. Tomorrow, the Big 3 heads to Philly with Philadelphia basketball royalty. The doctor is in, but when his tri-state squad goes hard against power, don't expect any brotherly love. And then, next Sunday on CBS, the hottest show on hard court heads to Hotlanta. The summer's heating up, baby.
And we got our first fight.
And so is the Big 3.
It's the Big 3 on CBS.
Right here on CBS.
You searched light beer. Calling Tom here.
There's enough artificial in the world. Michelob Ultra. No artificial colors or flavors. Superior light beer.
Hello? Who is this?
Ah, summer. And what's better than s'mores? S'more chili on that dog, please. This is Hormel Chili. We are Chili Nation.
Rated M for mature. Forget everything you know about mobile games. And get ready to raid. Raid Shadow Legends. Play for free now.
How does Armor All harness the power of the Viking?
Dust! Dead! Grime! Dead!
Look! UV rays!
Hurry!
Go, now!
Armor All. Protectors of cars. Defenders of fresh.
Big 3 basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Grooving in downtown Charlotte. Killer threes, 38-24 on Threes Company. Baron Davis unable to be on the floor, injured, but still BD engaged for Threes Company.
We gotta bully them, man. We gotta bring them to what we want them to do. c.j.watson is shooting jumpers. When they start making their move, dog, everybody give a little help, make them kick out. They gotta play against the clock.
And rebound. We going.
Good info. I mean, observing now the physical part. They're probably not going to be able to out-muscle killer threes, but they can make killer threes feel them. And you can do that offensively by putting pressure off the drive and not settling. And that's, again, coming out the timeout, a quick decision, good and able to knock it in. Defensively is where you have to make your stand for Three's Company.
10 points now for Drew Gooden to lead the way for Three's Company. Watson, kick over, Donte Green rattles out. Powell couldn't corral it. Second chance, Three's Company. Thompson faces up. Green clears it. Donte Green had the game winner last week. Killer Threes trying to go to 2-0.
Great defense that time by Thompson.
And then gets on the floor to keep it alive. Back into the hands of Gooden. Three's Company playing with some pace and urgency out of the timeout. Emmett, three. Still not going down. Donte Green steps in. Gooden lines it up again.
I don't think you fall. That's a good shot. He was wide open. But either team, I don't think you fall in love with the three-point shot. I think those come as a result of opening things up. And
Watson with the handles ends up with a foul on Gooden.
Well, a couple plays. You see DeJohn right here with great hands, the hustle, getting on those knees, keeping the play alive. And the last play you talked about, Watson, he knew Gooden, again, was going to give him space. So all the dribbling he was trying to do was create just a little bit more space to get his shot off. He was able to draw contact from Gooden.
And yet unable to push it to 40. Playing to 50, have to win by 2. Watson pokes that one away from Dermarr Johnson, but ends up with a foul. So the foul on Slim.
Let's take a look. Inside. Slim got him at the end right there, but that was a tough pass. The pass needed to be higher in order to get it over Watson so he couldn't just reach in there.
Gooden on Watson again. Watson gets past him and floats it with a teardrop for c.j.Watson out of Las Vegas. Former Tennessee Vol. Emmett attacks Green off the bounce. Powell clears it. Killer Threes, 10 points away. Make it 8 points away from 2-0 on the young season.
It's funny because that's a 4-point play. Say, how's that? The easy missed layup. Now you kind of put your heads down, shoulders are slumping, and you give up a layup back door.
Dermarr Johnson misses the three. Killer Threes trying to close it out. Steven Jackson on the bench right now. So c.j.Watson on to Donte Green for 3. 5 points away from the win.
And the hesitation of Watson forced Emmett to sneak in just a little bit, and Watson able to kick the ball out to Green on time, on target, so he can knock it in for that 3.
Killer Threes and what's turning into a dominant performance. 5 points away from sending Three's Company to 0-2. Clear out Green, 4-point shot.
Oh, he got
and a foul. So Gooden fouls on the 4-point shot. So you'll have one chance at 4 points.
Well, Gooden right there looking at the shot clock and then lunging. And anytime you lunge, bro, you might as well forget. If you start to lunge at a shooter, now the momentum is going to take you right into the body.
And at 6'10", no place to hide,
No place to hide. And all that momentum going forward, nothing you can do.
So here's the longest free throw in basketball. 1 shot, 4 points. Green can't convert. Desperation now, Andre Emmett, Three's Company.
Yeah. Another shot, close range that Emmett not able to finish. That one finally was.
Killer Threes trying to close it out with Steven Jackson still on the bench. Franklin Session. Pass Johnson. Johnson recovers for the block. Max Seal fouled on the way to the hoop. That tell you who's not happy about it right now, Charles Oakley. He wants to see him finish strong.
Well, he does, but it's good defense, great defense by Dermarr Johnson. Got his hand caught up in the rim, but on the backside, Session picked up the foul.
Beatty and Michael Cooper both trying to root on threes company. In tight, Green finish off the look from c.j.watson, 3 points away from the win.
Yeah, and that time this miscommunication between Maxwell and Emmett on whether they were going to switch the pick and roll, stay at home, and smartly Maxwell just dove right down the lane to get an easy 2.
Watson has the board. 50 points wins it. Watson step back after the crossover. Couldn't hit it. Emmett in tight. 10 now for Emmett. Watson behind the back. Green for the win again. Had one last week. Had a chance to close it out again. Emmett has been tough at the rim all day.
It's been tough. It's been, I mean, talking about 2 good looks.
Session ends it. Franklin Session buries the 3. Frank Nitti gives the killer threes the win in game 3. 2-0 now on the young season for the killer threes. Steven Jackson leads away with 22 points. c.j.watson with 14. And Cube out there to celebrate with killer threes now. 2-0 in the big 3.
Well, it was Nitti on this shot, squaring up. Emmett didn't want to commit. Last week he was Donte Green. This week, a new player steps up to secure victory. Franklin Session showing why he's so valuable to this year's killer 3 team. Brings experience, can shoot it, can play. Excellent pickup for Charles Oakley.
Nitti is with Michael Rappaport after the win.
All right, I'm with Frank Nitti. Big reputation. Everybody was excited to see you play in the big 3. 2 weeks in, last week you guys, you almost made the big shot. This week you hit the game-winning shot. What is your takeaway on big 3 basketball so far?
I love it, man. We got a really good team. The guys come out here, they play hard, man, and that's all I want to be a part of. You know, complete, play hard every night, play defense. That's what got us on this run. CJ was rolling today, man. Hats off to him, and that's what got us the dub.
How much fun are you having? I mean, you got a big reputation, street baller, LA legend, and all that stuff. How much fun are you having?
Man, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm doing this for everybody in LA and Watts, Drew League, who helped me get here. I'm living through them. Everybody think they're living through me. I'm living through them, man.
Steven, this guy, big reputation. He's a co-captain of your team. What does it mean to have him playing alongside you in the big 3?
Well, the thing was, I went different in the draft. I went to the kennel and got a whole bunch of dogs that nobody wanted. A whole bunch of dogs that deserved the chance. He deserved the chance, and he finna show everybody. And I got a whole bunch of young guys that's hungry right now. I'm building for the future of the big 3, not for just right now.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. It was great to see you out there healthy. That was one of your best games in the big 3. Big game. You guys, congratulations. Killer threes are back. They're ready to go. They're looking tough. They got an attitude problem. Big 3, season 3 in Charlotte is a wrap. Tomorrow we're in Philadelphia, Guys,
and the killer threes are 2-0. We have more from Charlotte. Frank Nitti, the winner, killer.